Hey y'all, this is Ray with CRAYZy Calling. Thank you for watching my channel. This is the time of year when everybody starts asking for tips and tricks on transition. So I asked you who you would suggest from your territory to give us some tricks of the trade. And so here's what they have to say.
I don't know if it's a secret, but I have to have a list.
Yeah. So what would that list look like? That's a list.
I'm like all about to-dos and timelines and time frames and that kind of thing. So I pretty much have it scheduled out like 6 to 8 weeks before the move, and then all the way up until the week of.
Right.
And so part of that is I kind of front load all of those to-dos in the beginning so that the last couple of weeks you can really just enjoy time with your congregation and with your neighbors and friends, and making sure that the kids get to say their goodbyes. And
I have found that a steamer is a life changer. I think it should be in every quarters across.
Yeah, and that's when you say that I steam. I don't iron. I always steam my clothes. Or
this is like a heavy duty like steamer, not like one for just like your clothes. Like this is like a cleaning steamer.
Okay.
Game changer. My own personal, like I have one for me now. I clean just about anything that can be cleaned with steam. Let me tell you, like windowsills, you know, that black gunk that gathers in there and it takes forever to clean.
Yeah.
I mean, I hit it with my steamer and it's gone. Actually, I like to put down some baking soda and vinegar first. And that kind of help loosens up. Throw the steamer on it, gone. Grout, my nemesis.
Yeah.
It does great on cleaning floors and windows. If it can be steamed, I'm steaming it. I think I found it on Amazon. You know, like the old school vacuums, you're like, the canister you drag behind you. So it has a big tank that you fill water in, and it has a couple different types of attachments.
Okay.
And they're not terribly expensive, and they are totally worth the investment. That's my secret weapon is my steamer.
We make those like the floor wipers, Swiffer type.
Oh, Swiffers.
The washable pads.
Yeah.
You know, the ones with the washable pads.
Yeah.
I love those for the walls.
Oh.
Because, you know, you usually have to dust your walls a little bit, especially in the very commonly used areas.
Yeah.
I like to use those for the walls so that I don't have to reach as much, and it's much easier on the shoulders, and it helps kids also feel like they're contributing without too big of a fuss.
The other thing I think that everybody should do is have their mattresses cleaned when they leave.
Is there a place that does that?
Well, yeah. So every company that I've ever hired to come out and clean the carpets at my house, I say, can you do the mattresses? And they charge me like, I don't know, $50 a mattress, and they clean the mattresses.
You know, we have a farewell brief. I'm sure it's pretty standard across the country.
Yeah.
Right. And they have those lists, right, of every room that you're supposed to clean and tick off, right? So I take that and make a copy of it and then tape it to every door, right, in the house. So like this bedroom, everything. So it's in the house, right? So even the people that are coming to clean the house know it has to be done, right?
Oh, I love that.
Can't forget to take that box spring off and clean that bed frame.
First thing I do is go through and pack everything that we know that we just don't use on a daily basis. You take everything down off the walls, just things that are sitting around because they're pretty, whatever. We pack those things up first. I do that. I go through every room and do that first.
Yeah.
And then, so we basically pare everything down to like a week's worth of clothes, our electronics, stuff that we can't live without.
Sure.
And then I go room by room and pack one room at a time and make sure that room is completely done and packed. And then I move to the next room.
In the beginning, we don't do cardboard boxes. We do tubs. And so I've saved them. I mean, and some of them have lasted 19 years. I will say that the clear ones don't last as long. We do wardrobe boxes, which are the big, like, I don't even know how tall, like 4 feet tall boxes that come with the hanger, because when we move our closet, I just kind of take them off, put them in.
Magic erasers.
Magic erasers,
like CRAYZy.
Magic erasers.
Oh, magic erasers for sure.
I think that's been like everybody said that.
Vinegar, Odoban, and dish soap.
Odoban. What is Odoban?
Odoban is like industrial Febreze.
Yeah.
You can mix it in spray bottles, and then as you clean it, it disinfects, and you can do laundry with it. So it's really nice for washing all of the linens.
Yeah.
It just leaves them smelling really fresh. And the one thing I forgot to add in that is Barkeeper's Friend. Barkeeper's Friend.
Barkeeper's Friend?
It's called Barkeeper's Friend. You find it.
Yeah.
More and more places now have it. It's kind of like soft scrub.
Yeah.
I think it works a little bit better than soft scrub, but it's really good for soap scum. But we are using, most of our cleaning now is done with dish soap, vinegar, and baking soda.
Okay. And so do you have like a mix that you do for that?
If you're using like a standard size spray bottle.
Okay.
Tablespoon of dish soap, quarter cup of baking soda, about a quarter of a cup of vinegar, and the rest warm water.
Okay.
Shake it all really good.
And does it smell too vinegary?
No. It will smell vinegary when you spray it.
Yeah.
But by the time you're done cleaning and wiping everything down with water, there is no smell.
The first few weeks of the new officer being there. So I want to make sure that my leaders are prepared to pretty much run everything core program wise, so that the officer just has a minute to get their bearings before they feel like they have to take over things.
I think that for me, the most important thing I've learned about leaving the building is that doing that in a way that is respectful of the people who are worried about the transition.
Sure.
And so when you come in and, the second day that you found out that you're moving and your entire office is packed, I think that's overwhelming and difficult. And I think that finding a way to do that in a way that makes that part of the process gradual, and I just go like blazes at home.
Yeah.
But slowing down a little bit, whenever possible and it's reasonable, if you have core people say, I have to clean out the women's ministries room as I pack my stuff, it's a time for some reminiscing and some bonding as you sort and pack. And I think that it's just a way to grieve together. But that whole thing of we're just done at the core and everything is moved out and we look like a guest the week after we've found out we're moving, I think is really jarring for the people. And I think it's jarring for us too. Like, I still need to be present in this appointment.
I don't. At one point, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna snap. I think it's just inevitable.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't think I've actually mastered that.
That is the typical answer. Like, is that a thing?
Yeah.
Like, at some point, we're all gonna snap, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Probably sometimes multiple times a day.
Yeah. That's so good for people to hear. If you're out there and you're listening, everybody, doesn't matter how squared away you are, at some point you're going to get stressed out and maybe blow up, and that's okay. You're normal.
Stock the fridge, get your grocery list, and get some essentials in for breakfast and lunches and stuff like that. I've also coordinated a meal delivery. If you have an auxiliary or a home league who really likes to, partake in stuff like that, likes to cook, then I will go ahead and set up, like 5 days worth of dinner and let them know, we're looking to, to get dinner for your family. So you don't have to worry about cooking the first 5
Sure.
days.
Yeah.
And, what are some foods that you like? Is this something that you would be interested in? Dinner will be at your house, whatever time you would normally have dinner, unless it's something they'll bring early that you just have to heat up. One that I have found to be incredibly helpful for me and that I like to do for other people, label those keys. Take them off your key ring, or unless you're going to put little labels on them, because nobody likes walking around with the janitor set of keys and trying 50 keys to get into your office or into your core. A photo directory. It doesn't have to be anything, formal or professional, but especially if you have a large staff or a large core. It's something that's really helpful to be able to go into the office and actually know, oh, that's so-and-so.
Right,
and
right.
That, you put a name with a face, and you can, that just helps that relationship with your staff start even stronger when they know, oh my gosh, they've taken the time to learn who I am before they
I
even
love
got
that.
here.
That's a great idea.
My husband and I, we've really gotten into the practice that the minute we walk into an appointment, we start our briefs right there and then. My responsibility is to leave you everything that I can possibly have. It's your responsibility to determine if you want to read it or not.
Yeah, right.
And people have said, well, they're never going to read it. Well, that's not my responsibility. Like, I can't own what the other person does, but what I can own is leaving whoever follows me in a position to succeed.
I don't know that I'm very good at taking care of myself during transition. I think that I just am so worried about getting everything done and leaving, your quarters and your core or your office or whatever, your brief, making sure it's all adequate for the next person, right?
Yeah.
I've always known the people that have followed me, so there's some comfort in that, but there's also an extra layer of stress because it's like, oh, these people, I know them and I care about them. So even more so, I want it to be good, right?
Right, yeah.
And of course, you don't want to be that person that someone talks about, well, that's Siobhan, she left dirty shelf paper.
Probably every officer has a story of where they walked in and they followed a hot mess, right? Like, we know that. But I think we really have to battle against that. Like you use the word toxic, we can't feed into that either.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And like, gosh, I wouldn't have done it that way, but let's think about what worked.
For me personally, being surrounded by boxes gives me anxiety. I really struggle with being surrounded by boxes.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I just get out and I walk either around my neighborhood or I go to Target.
Yeah.
And walk around Target for a little while just so that I can take some deep breaths without feeling to have to be super mom while also packing.
It is not the time to ignore your devotions.
Yeah.
It is not the time to ignore going and sitting by yourself in your van and crying for an hour with a Starbucks.
Right.
Just do it and let yourself process the feelings, whether it is excitement or sadness or overwhelm or annoyance that your husband won't help enough or whatever it is. It is not the time to say, I am too busy for an hour by myself.
Yeah.
And if that's just saying to God, I'm really angry about this. And I know that sometimes we think, well, now you're over spiritualizing, but it's really not. And even if you have to put it in your planner or your calendar, like, this is the hour that I'm just going to go and sit in my van because it's the only place I can truly be alone.
Yeah.
Or if your office affords you that luxury, there's too many knocks for me. Or in my bedroom. Mama. But I think that if
or
you
the
can
bathroom for that matter at home.
I don't know that I've gone to the bathroom truly by myself in 20 years.
So some of the things that I do to help my family, again, I have a special needs family, is one of the first things I always try to locate is a pediatrician.
Okay.
I usually ask my predecessors about their pediatrician ahead of time so that I can locate one, because a good pediatrician is so important, especially ones that have information on different resources in the community for special needs. So I locate them first. And now with the power of Zoom and telehealth, you can probably actually establish care with the pediatrician in a new location before you actually arrive there.
Yeah, that's great.
And then you can start getting the referrals that you need for any specialist before you even get there.
Mental health is like real keen on us.
Yeah.
And we are not afraid of seeking professional help, counselor. So our entire family has done counseling. We talk very openly in our family about what our job entails, what our ministry entails, what that moving sometimes isn't our choice. It wouldn't be what we would want, but that we make a choice to be a part of that. What I've learned this year is what does not work is to say, well, I've been there too. You'll get through. Like it doesn't feel like that to them, right? Like it doesn't feel like that they're going to make it through. And that's okay. That's okay for them to feel that way. Learning to say, yeah, this sucks. I'm sad too. And validating that moving is grief. That there's grief work in that.
It's hard enough to juggle family and ministry. It's really hard. And then when you have a family with special needs or different needs, it's even harder to balance. And so if we can support each other, more power to us.
If you want to hear more from these ladies, let me know in the comments. Also, let me know some other information you might like to know on transition or anything else. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much to the ladies that participated in this video, and a special thank you to Heather Dolby, who rescued me and helped me to edit. I appreciate all my people. I love you. I'm going to be praying for those in transition, and if you're watching and not transitioning, if you'll commit to pray with me for those that are transitioning. It's never easy. And remember, enjoy this crazy calling. See you next time.